Good evening and welcome to the Calvary Hospital Annual Awards Gala in 2020's all too familiar virtual style. Well, what a year it's been since we last gathered at the Pierre, right? Well, while much has changed, Calvary's capacity to spread joy and love has not, as you will find out tonight. Well, given this new voyage into the virtual gala realm, I invited a friend of mine to join in the MC duties tonight. Miss Sade Baderinwa. She, of course, also an MC alum for the Calvary Gala, and we are both delighted to share this night with you.
Yes, Ryan, I am delighted to be back for the Calvary Awards Gala. I so remember how the night is marked by such warmth and compassion, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see and feel that even in the virtual realm. Hello, everyone. We have distinguished honorees to celebrate, but also the tremendous gift of a special performance by an iconic member of our Disney family, Alan Menken. Alan is part of that rarefied club of EGOT winners, having won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
To start our evening off, we turn it over to the honorary chairman of Calvary Hospital, His Eminence Timothy Michael Cardinal Dolan.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. As we trace that sign of the cross over our heart and mind and soul, we're reminded of the cross of Calvary, where Jesus, filled with mercy and healing and grace and light and life, poured out his life so that we may live. We hold up to you this evening, dear Lord, the needs of our beloved Calvary Hospital. May it do for our patients what Calvary did for the world, namely lead them to the resurrection and teach them light in the midst of darkness. Calvary's been doing that for a long time, and we need it more than ever. They'd be the first to admit they could not do it without the benefactors who are with us this evening, without the dedicated staff, without people like Dr. Brescia, Frank Calamati, and that magnificent board, with the physicians and the nurses and the volunteers and the staff. Hallelujah. They're all with Jesus under the cross with our Blessed Mother and St. John on Calvary. Most of all, we hold up to you the needs of our patients and families. They all tell us they feel closer to the Lord when they're at Calvary. And that's what it's all about, to make sure that they're close to the Lord for all eternity. And Calvary helps them get there through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And God's special blessing upon the recipients of this evening's award, everybody. Boy, they've been passionate about Calvary. Louise Parent, Khalil Barrage, and the Menken family. God bless you. Congratulations on your award.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains and majesty, above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
At Calvary, it truly is where life continues, and during this pandemic, they have really stepped up heroically for their patients, families, and colleagues in the medical community, and all those navigating the heartbreak of illness and loss.
The Calvary team is extraordinary, as I've been fortunate to see over the years as I've worked more closely with the organization. In fact, I recently became involved in Calvary's Emerging Leaders Committee. It's a group of young professionals who support the mission of Calvary Hospital through various activities. But going back to what makes Calvary and its team so exceptional, it's something I see every day in my field, how it requires dedicated teamwork to achieve great things, but also how important it is to have a dynamic leader. Calvary is blessed to have such an outstanding leader, Frank Calamari. Frank, it's all yours.
Thank you all for joining us tonight as Calvary launches its first virtual gala. While we miss the opportunity to see you at the Pierre and share what is always a special evening with friends, old and new, our first priority is the well-being of those entrusted to our care. To keep our patients and families safe during this pandemic, we have had to institute new protocols, but as always, they bear the hallmarks of Calvary compassion and understanding. So our gala in 2020 has also adapted. And we welcome you from wherever you are as you join us with our new virtual format. Your generosity has never been more needed or more deeply appreciated as we navigate new challenges in bringing the best end-of-life care across our organization. In the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan and Queens, and to homes throughout our area. We continue to be committed to sharing our expertise with doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals from more than 32 countries to date. As we have seen throughout this year, compassionate and knowledgeable care is essential for the patient, but also for the family in the final days of their loved one's life and beyond. I invite you to take a look at an example of Calvary care at its finest during the pandemic. Your generosity and support makes it possible to deliver our specialized care, even at the most challenging of times. Stand with us to help friends and neighbors at a time of special need.
I was my mom's primary caregiver. I worked, but came and took care of my mom every day, all the time. And at this point, Mom was bedbound, and I knew that things were not good. And because of COVID, I could not get help. I called her doctor to come and see her. And she said, "I'm sorry, Angela, we cannot come because of COVID." Then I was like, well, maybe I better send it to the hospital. So I called 911, and the paramedics came to the house, and they said to me, if you send your mom to the hospital, Mom will be alone. You cannot go inside with her. My mom had very bad Lewy body dementia, and I've done everything for my mom. I've been her voice for 5 years that she's been ill, and I was not sending her there by herself. And then that's when I decided I'm not sending her to the hospital. I need Calvary.
Angela was beside herself by the time I walked in the door, crying. I just need a hug. In our normal days, that's the first thing we would do, is hug that family member. And I remember feeling awful behind the mask and the shield and thinking, thank God I'm wearing all this because she can't see my face. And I was in tears because that was the only thing I could not do.
She came in and she looked at me, and I was wiped out because 2 weeks of not having anyone to help you, to tell you what to do, I was just destroyed. And Kelly was like, okay, let's go see your mom.
We didn't have a positive COVID test. We had what we called person under suspicion. Fever for 2 weeks, congested for 2 weeks, not eating for 2 weeks. That fit the criteria for a person under suspicion of COVID. So we had to maintain a specific regimen of double masking and a face shield and a gown and gloves and social distancing and only touching patients when necessary, but trying to give the proper education that the family needed to provide the right care.
At that point, Kelly said that Mom was not ready to pass. She was on her way to pass, but she was not ready. She told me, I'll hold your hand the whole way, even if we have to do it virtually. And we did. I would take my camera and we would go on FaceTime, and
we would look at her mom's feet. She'd put the phone near her mom so I could hear her breathing, explain to her how to put the oxygen on, explain to her how to change the medication dosages. Anything that she needed, we were able to manage like I was in person until I could get there.
And because of Calvary and because of Kelly, I was able to keep my mom home. To die in her own home with me, instead of being in the hospital all by herself.
There was never a question about whether we were going to care for a patient. We did it well. We did it really on the backs of our nurses, though, who were in the community. And at this point, we probably have taken care of close to 500 COVID patients.
It was exhausting emotionally, physically, but somehow You know, you reach one patient and realize that you made a difference, and they give you enough energy to pay it forward to the next patient, the next visit, the next day, the next hour, next week.
And despite the frequency with which people were dealing with death and working with family members, our staff were resilient, and they were able to re-energize and go on to the next patient and go on to the next family members. And they give a wonderful gift to patients to help make it happen that people are allowed to die at home.
The dedication of the people who work for Calvary, it's not just a job. It's a passion. My mom would have been very, very happy with Kelly and with the decision that was made for the last 8 days of her life. And I will never forget what they did for me. I'll never forget what Kelly did for me, and I'll never forget what Calvary as a whole has done for me.
Earlier, Ryan, you mentioned how important leadership is to any organization, and we see it in Frank, and we have seen it over many decades in the visionary contributions of its dedicated chairman of the hospital board, Dr. Tom Fahey. Tom is a guiding force to raise Calvary to the highest levels, even while he fulfilled the many demands of his position as senior vice president at Memorial Sloan Kettering, leading that outstanding organization to new levels of excellence here and around the world. His work to help his family is just so extraordinary. It adds even greater significance to have him bestow the newly commissioned Calvary Spirit of Family Award. Tom, please lead us into our first presentation of the evening.
Who would have thought last year at this time that our annual Calvary Awards Gala would be virtual in 2020? Although the pandemic has put a damper on celebrations, we still need to celebrate the fact that Calvary has been able to carry on its mission of compassionate care of patients for whom palliative care is the best medical option. And as we've learned over the years, this includes the families of our patients as well. Last year marked the 120th anniversary of the founding of the House of Calvary by Annie Blount Storrs on Perry Street in Greenwich Village. She would be amazed how the institution has developed over the years, moving from the village to Featherbed Lane in the Bronx in 1915, and later to the present site on Eastchester Road, where it developed into a provider of not only hospital care for the sickest patients, but home hospice and home care, and brought beds to Brooklyn and Queens, and in full circle back to Manhattan as the Dawn Green Hospice within Mary Manning Walsh. While the pandemic has stressed the healthcare system, Calvary's amazing staff adapted to the necessity to provide palliative care to COVID-19 patients and actually reconfigured several areas of the hospital so this could be done as safely as possible. All this while increasing hospice nursing care by 40% and bereavement services to families. This all increased the cost of operations and is severely stressing the financing of Calvary Care, which never was fully reimbursed and relied on our wonderful donors to keep the level of care the best it could be. Calvary believes that when a loved one is ill, the whole family is affected, not just the patient. This belief shapes the spectrum of Calvary services to provide the best in palliative care at its hospitals or in people's homes, and also the support programs for their loved ones during the patient's final days and beyond. Knowing how family is at the core of Calvary, we felt it was especially meaningful this year to recognize the partnership of a family in its mission. This was the spark to create the inaugural Calvary Hospital Spirit of Family Award. We saw in the earlier video the powerful bond that is created between Calvary, a patient, and their family. But Calvary is also blessed to have the support of families in helping to bring awareness of Calvary to other families so that we can be there in their time of need. Tonight, it is our privilege to honor a family that sets the standard of thoughtful partnership. Their generous spirit in sharing their family's journey with Calvary to benefit others is unparalleled. We welcome this opportunity to honor the Menken family, and I invite you to take a look at their story.
I remember Dad singing. It was a musical called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And this father sings, I'll buy you a star, not just any star. Very loving, and our family is very loving. And I think the music that runs through me is very much a reflection of the family I grew up in and the role that music played in our lives.
We grew up with parents who really appreciated each other. So we grew up surrounded by a lot of love.
My parents grew up in the New York area. They were set up on a blind date. My mother, she said it was like they found their missing pieces, like they just belonged together.
My father and mother never sat down at a meal together without toasting each other. It could be breakfast at McDonald's and they toasted each other.
My mother really had been chronically sick for years. They determined with her breathing issues that she was a candidate for hospice.
I thought of contacting Calvary as just taking advantage of the fact that Calvary is there for that part of life. They were both literally in hospice together, in home hospice together, which was, I don't know how common that is, but.
Calvary is there for you 24/7. You don't have to worry anymore. You're being supported.
My father was in his own home, surrounded by people who loved him.
Mom, at the very end, just couldn't seem to pass at home. And it was becoming so difficult. So we brought her to the Calvary facility, and she died within a couple of days. God bless Calvary, honestly. The people, the nurses, the aides, universally compassionate, patient, very human.
And if it weren't for Calvary, for what they did for my parents, it was a blessing. They weren't hooked up to anything. It was peaceful and it was calm, and I bless Calvary more than I can say for that.
Each day is Valentine's Day.
You can tell music, love, laughter, and compassion are at the core of the Menken family. It is this spirit of cherishing every day with our loved ones that defines our Calvary Spirit of Family Award. We are honored to have Faye Menken Schneier and Leah Menken Levinson accept this award on behalf of their family and their brother Alan, whom we will hear from shortly. Faye and Leah, thank you for being so generous in sharing your family story, being compassionate to inspire others to reach out to Calvary, to allow us to help make every day of a loved one's life full of love and respect, and for being wonderful partners in helping to make Calvary stronger now and for years to come. On behalf of the Calvary Hospital and Calvary Fund Boards, I extend to you our deepest thanks and abiding admiration as we are proud to have the Menken family be the inaugural recipient of our Spirit of Family Award. We wish you all ongoing good health and happiness and look forward to our partnership for years to come. Now, it's all yours, Faye and Leah.
I was in the hospital the day that the subject of Calvary was discussed. When we were told by the wonderful Calvary social worker that there was no time limit hanging over his head, no clock ticking, that he could avail himself of these wonderful services for as long as necessary, I was thrilled. I said to Dad, there's no downside.
All of a sudden, all the decision processes that I had to go through for whether it's going to a doctor or should he have this test or should my mother be on this medication were lifted from me.
We knew that the nurse was going to come twice a week, whether they needed her or not, to check them both over and see how they were doing.
Every nurse that Calvary Care sent were excellent, were warm and caring.
We always felt that we had a place where our questions wouldn't be considered stupid, where we could call and ask, and usually the answer was yes.
I had times with the social worker where I spoke about my fears and my concerns, and I just felt loved. I don't know how else to express it.
From the perspective of a 72-year-old whose parents are 96 and 97, I would just have to say thanks to Calvary. This is as good as it gets. There ends were peaceful, tranquil. They had quality of life. Nobody's staying on this planet forever. But this is as good as it gets.
To have Calvary Care in your life was so instrumental to allowing us to be present to my parents. You know, the rest of us could be there and hold their hands and tell stories and just be present. I feel such gratitude for everyone that I have encountered at Calvary.
I feel like the Menken family should be giving Calvary an award, but since they're giving us the Calvary Hospital Spirit of Family Award, the very first one, all I can say is thank you so much. Our family is eternally grateful to be part of this wonderful family.
I just feel very honored to be a Menken, part of the Menken family, receiving Calvary Hospital Spirit of Family Award, the first one, because we've got spirit and you've got spirit, and I'd like to spread it to everyone.
One of the things that the Menken family always did when we got together was to gather around the piano. So we are thrilled that the Calvary family now can gather around the piano while Alan sings, because he's singing from his heart, he's singing to you, and he's singing to remember our parents.
I'd like to introduce to you my big brother, Faye's little brother, who we are going to share with you twice this evening. So take it away, Alan.
Thank you, Leah. I am so proud that we are receiving the Spirit of Family Award this evening, and I would also like to thank everyone at Calvary for their help and support with our parents and with so many other people in need. They are such a blessing. So without further ado, I would hope you will all enjoy this first of two medleys that I'm playing tonight. Oh my, Well, Alabama had them 40 thieves. Shahrazad had 1,000 tales. And Mr. You in luck, cause up your sleeve. You got a brand of magic never fails. You got some power in your corner now. Heavy ammunition in your camp. You got some bones possessed, yeah. Who in house? Yeah, all you gotta do is rub that lamp. Then I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take you on a journey down. You ain't never had a friend like me. Nah, nah, nah. Life is your restaurant, and I'm your maitre d'. Come on, whisper what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend like me. There goes a baker with his tray, like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell. Every morning just the same, since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, bell. Bonjour, good day, how is your family? Bonjour, good day, how is your wife? I need 6 eggs, that's too expensive. There must be more than this provincial life. A pair of new shoes with matching laces, permanent box at the Sheep's Head races, porcelain tub with boiling water, Saturday night with the mayor's daughter. Look at me, I'm the king of New York. Suddenly, I'm respectable, staring right at your lousy with stature, nobbing with all the buckety mucks. I'm blowing my dough and going deluxe, and there I be. Ain't I pretty? It's my city. I'm the king of New York. Little shop of horrors, a little shop of terror, call a cop. Little shop of horrors, and no, oh no. Little shop of horrors, a bop shabop. You'll never stop the terror, watch them drop. Little shop of horrors, and no, oh no, oh no, oh no. The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you. Right here on the ocean floor, such wonderful things around you. What more is you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day. Out in the sun they slave away. Each little clammy, no other jammy under the sea. Each little sluggy, cut in the rugged under the sea. Each little snaily, no how to whale it. That's why it's hotter under the water. Yeah, we ain't lucky down in the muck under the sea. Think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people, the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? You can own the earth and still, all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
We are grateful for your partnership in our work and thank you for joining to celebrate Calvary Hospital's contributions to our community. As President and CEO of Calvary, I have the privilege of working with a talented and passionate team committed to providing the best of care to our patients and their loved ones. Some joining us tonight have experienced Calvary care firsthand for their loved ones. Others may have only heard about our work. Rather than limit it to my words, I invite you to have a glimpse of the team I refer to. Stewards of excellence in their fields and providers of the compassionate care Calvary is known for every day.
My family and I have been associated with Calvary for over 3 decades, and I've seen what the hospital does, what the passion is for helping patients enduring difficult circumstances.
The mission has remained the same, the care of patients in the late stages of their illness. Currently, we're here in the east part of the Bronx, where it's a 200-bed hospital. In addition, we have facilities in Brooklyn, where we are at NYU Brooklyn, sharing areas where we take care of patients for the Brooklyn community as well. Over the last 25 years, we have concentrated on services for patients at home. That has burgeoned into a program that in fact is larger than the program we have for inpatient care.
I think the future of hospice care is to be able to expand the home services. Everybody benefits, the patient, the family, and the healthcare system in general. So we will continue to look to expand these services as best we can in Manhattan and the other boroughs. One of the things that we're able to do at the Mary Manning Walsh Dawn Green Hospice in Manhattan and Osmond Hall in Queens was offer training for palliative care fellows and residents from Sloan Kettering and other university hospitals.
The referral base to Calvary is that physician group who has lived Calvary care, has trained here, and know that their patients are well served by Calvary care, whether that's institutional care here at the hospital or care in the home related to both home care and hospice.
In the middle of the COVID crisis, Calvary had some of its finest hours earlier this year. The hospice, as a matter of fact, from day one was out in homes where other home care agencies were still in their own homes and not ready to go. On the hospital side, we set up separate units for active COVID patients, for patients who were suspected of having COVID, and for those who were free of any infection.
When hospitals became very crowded, and it was necessary for those who were not ill of a critical nature to be transferred to other facilities, we essentially became that facility. We took care of patients who had resided in nursing homes, were admitted to hospital, and then transferred to us. And when 3 weeks ago we opened up visiting, we had families who had not seen their loved one for 6 months.
We had several couples who died together, holding hands in small apartments on the Lower East Side. So there were a lot of very moving stories that will stay with us for many, many months. I would encourage everyone to know that any support that they do provide to Calvary would be going directly to supporting the care that's provided by our nurses and our social workers and our pastoral care and everyone else who's out taking care of patients in the community. We did it during COVID, and we do it for our typical patients, all 5,000 of them on an annual basis.
The hospital is in solid financial foundation, but like many others, we had many unexpected expenses that we needed to incur in order to make the hospital safe. However, our services continue to be in high demand because, the pandemic doesn't know when people's lives will end, and we need to continue to help those in need.
The cancer goes on, death and dying goes on, and so will Calvary. And that's what we're doing by taking the experience that we had with COVID, the techniques and the processes that we had, to continue until we have this disease totally tamed.
It's hard to really describe being part of something so horrible and feeling as supported and protected and safe to be able to provide that amount of care. And I really feel it was a quality level of care to these people that really needed it. No place else but Calvary.
We know achieving your good works is not a solitary effort, of course, and it's my privilege to introduce one of your valued partners and leader of the team to help marshal the human and financial resources necessary to support Calvary's mission, Carlos Hernandez, chair of the Calvary Fund Board. Carlos, thank you for all you do, and we welcome your leading the next two honoree presentations.
As the chair of the Calvary Fund Board, I am delighted to be with you tonight to celebrate the outstanding care Calvary Hospital brings to our community and to honor good friends who are outstanding in their fields of endeavor, while also excelling in commitment to our community, and they inspire us to live each day as the gift that it is. In order to provide excellence in care to people of all faith traditions, regardless of one's insurance or ability to pay, Calvary needs the generous donation of time, talent, and treasure from good friends and partners. Tonight, we honor three: the Menken family, Khalil Barrage, and our next distinguished honoree, Louise Parent. Louise Parent has had an illustrious career in the corporate and legal sectors, where she was the respected Executive Vice President and General Counsel of American Express, and presently is of counsel at Cleary Gottlieb Steen & Hamilton. She has provided her wealth of expertise on a number of corporate boards, including Zoetis, Deutsche Bank, and Fidelity National Information Services, while also engaging in many philanthropic commitments over the years and providing board leadership at Cold Spring Harbor, Studio Inn at School, the YWCA, A Better Chance, the Cook Center for Learning and Development, her alma mater, Smith College, and of course, extraordinary commitment to Calvary, serving on the fund and hospital boards for a number of years. At Calvary, Louise's commitment is both inspirational and far-reaching. In addition to helping maintain the highest standards in governance to augment the excellence in care known at Calvary, Louise is a dedicated volunteer working with the talented Calvary staff to take care for patients and provide an environment of support and comfort for their loved ones. In addition to her own generosity, Louise has been invaluable in helping to encourage others to invest in the good works at Calvary, often through our signature gala, and has been a tremendous partner and friend to myself and many on the Calvary Fund and hospital boards. The Compatior Award, commissioned at Calvary Centennial, is a very special one in that embodies the essential partnership needed to provide the extraordinary care one sees at Calvary: a patient, physician, member of pastoral care, and a compassionate individual. It is not an award given frequently or lightly, and last was presented to Dawn Green in 2011 to recognize her transformative commitment to Calvary. As Louise steps down from the Calvary Fund Board, we are honored to have the opportunity to present the Compatior to her in recognition of her significant contributions to Calvary Hospital and its mission. Louise, we know you will continue to be part of our family as a dedicated volunteer and cherished friend. But tonight, we take a moment to applaud all you have done for so many. Louise, and on behalf of the Calvary Fund and the Calvary Hospital boards, the administration, medical, professional, pastoral and volunteer staffs at Calvary, we thank you for your compassion and commitment, which has helped countless patients and families in time of great need. While I can't pass the award to you at this moment, I will pass the program now over to you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful award. It means a lot to me because Calvary Hospital means a lot to me. My mother was a patient at Calvary. She was in her late 80s, had dementia, and really couldn't walk or talk. She'd been in a revolving door of emergency room admissions that left her and her family both distressed and debilitated. But Calvary was different. It was calm, it was peaceful, and people really treated her as an individual. When we told people that my mother liked sweets and classical music, all of a sudden she was eating ice cream and listening to Bach on a CD player that somebody had found and put into her room. It was a very sad time for our family, but we had the comfort and consolation of knowing that she was in the right place. She was there for many months, and I spoke to her doctor a lot. And one day I called her doctor and said, I'm supposed to go to California on a business trip next week. Any reason why I shouldn't go? The doctor paused for a moment and then said, if this trip really isn't necessary, you might want to pass on it. I hung up the phone, canceled my trip, and 4 days later, I was with my mother when she died. To honor my mother, I became a volunteer at Calvary. And as a volunteer, I get to know a lot of people, from the men on the loading dock, food service workers, the men who buff the floors, the chaplains and rabbis who are there, and of course the aides, nurses, and doctors. And what I can tell you is there is nothing fake or phony about Calvary Hospital. People don't put on a facade of compassion for the patients. Everyone is truly gentle and kind with each other and fully dedicated to the mission of the hospital. As a volunteer, I meet a lot of people, including a freedom rider from the Deep South and an abstract expressionist artist who had a painting at the Whitney. I also meet many people who've just had wonderful, wonderful lives. One of them was Betty. When she got to the hospital, her husband, beloved husband for many years, had just passed away. She was grieving his loss and confused and upset about where she was. But over time, like most patients at Calvary, she became calm and we got to be friends. One day I went into her room and she said, you know, I think I'm going to go on a trip. I said, really? What kind of trip is it? She said, I'm really not sure, but I think it's going to be a long journey. I think I'm going to see my husband and maybe some other people that I know. We talked about it for a little bit, and then she said, what do you think? I said, I think that trip is going to be just fine. She looked at me and smiled and said, thank you, which is what I say. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight at this virtual gala. Thank you for bestowing this honor on me. I know I don't deserve it, but it will inspire me, and I will always try to do better and be deserving of it. And thank you also to Calvary Hospital for allowing me to be a very small part of a wonderful place that gives hope and consolation and strength to people when they need it most. For me, it is true that Calvary is where life continues. Thank you.
Congratulations, Louise, and thank you for your leadership and friendship over your many years on the Calvary Fund Board. The work of Calvary is made possible thanks to the generosity of people like you and all those in the Calvary family whose spirit of generosity we celebrate tonight. Our donors stand with us in our work, helping patients and their families. The Calvary team is always at the forefront in providing excellence in care, and during this crisis has risen to every challenge. As we approach year end, and as you make your philanthropic plans for 2021, we hope you will continue to make Calvary Care a priority. Rest assured that our team and our board leadership take stewardship of your generosity very seriously. We maximize every dollar to provide the most help to others at their time of greatest need. Thank you from all of us at the Calvary Fund. Best wishes to all for a happy and healthy holiday season ahead. I now turn the evening back over to Carlos Hernandez for the presentation of the Calvary Medal.
Thank you, Tim, and I join in sharing our profound thanks to the many generous individuals, corporations, and foundations that have supported Calvary through the events like the annual gala, and in general, support for Calvary's comprehensive spectrum of care for patients and their loved ones. Calvary will never turn away a patient in need, and we are able to fulfill that sacred promise because of the generous hearts and spirits of our outstanding donors. As you can see from this evening, Calvary's good work is a product of thoughtful partnership with Calvary excelling in its field and supported by those who step up to give of themselves. The Calvary Medal is presented annually to an individual whose life and work exemplify the ideals of morality, compassion, and concern for the dignity of human life. It is these qualities that reflect the spirit upon which Calvary Hospital was founded and are carried on at Calvary today. Calvary welcomes this opportunity to honor those who have been blessed in their work and reflect their light to benefit others. It gives me special pleasure to present the 2020 Calvary Medal to my good friend Khalil Barrage, Managing Director of Invus. Khalil has been a distinguished leader in finance for many years. As Managing Director at Invus, where he has been for almost 2 decades, Khalil heads up and is in charge globally of the public equity group. With a keen eye to see value where others miss it, Khalil is a great judge of the intrinsic value of the many entities and has quite a record of success. But beyond his corporate accomplishments, Khalil is a person of tremendous compassion and a dedicated family man. He gives generously of his time as a board member of the Children of Armenia Fund and of solving kids' cancer, a cause close to his heart. I hope my words can help express the depth of respect, affection, and hearty congratulations from your family, friends, and colleagues all watching this evening, and we have the welcome opportunity to salute you good works in finance and in life. Congratulations, Khalil. I turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. My heartfelt appreciation to my dear friend Carlos Hernandez, the board of the Calvary Hospital and Calvary Fund for this very special honor. And for all of you participating in this virtual gala, including my co-honoree, I thank you as well. In only a few words, I want to tell you my story. Not only my choice of the life sciences as a career, but something more personal, which is in part explain why this recognition by Calvary is so meaningful to me. If you remember your Psych 101 as freshmen in college, you might recall that long ago, A.H. Maslow, the psychologist, postulated that there was a hierarchy of 5 human needs, with self-actualization being at the pinnacle of the hierarchy. Self-actualization is the realization and fulfillment of one's talent and potential. I'm neither a scientist nor a clinician, but I'm fortunate enough to be part of an industry focused on the discovery and development of important medicines that solve unmet medical needs. Albeit indirectly, my life's work is all about enabling companies to attain the resources necessary to eradicate disease and improve human health and well-being. In return, I get to wander one of the world's most exciting landscapes and work with some of the most dedicated and talented people. So yes, I am fully self-actualized. My work and my being are inseparable. Or so I thought. My brush with Nirvana was interrupted when tragedy struck 15 years ago. The harmony in my life collided unexpectedly with cancer, and for my 3-year-old son, whose life was cut short almost before it began. There was no science and no medicine that could help. My close friends know that I have a small tattoo on my forearm of a swallow in flight, signifying a parent who lost a son during the Roman Empire. My son will always be with me. It took many years for me to recover, but along the way I learned the importance of making a difference for those in need, and also why the support offered to patients by Calvary is so critical. I thank you for supporting their important mission. Thank you once again for this honor, which I will cherish.
What exceptional honorees tonight. It certainly raises our spirits and our sights to see such outstanding individuals, selfless in their actions and having such a positive and significant impact in making our community stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate.
All of tonight's honorees deserve these meaningful recognitions and our admiration. We wish them all ongoing success and happy and healthy years ahead. Well, just when we think the night can't get any more uplifting, Calvary tops itself as always, thanks to the help of some good friends. While we enjoyed a prelude of what was to come earlier, now is the time to enjoy our Calvary champagne cocktail and be captivated by the dynamic talent of one of America's greatest composers, songwriters, music conductors, music directors, and record producers, Alan Menken. Alan, take it away.
Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababwa. Genuflect, show some respect down on one knee. Now try your best to stay calm, brush up your Sunday salam, then come and make a spectacular coterie. Prince Ali, Amuracy, Ali Ababwa. Heard your princess was a sight lovely to see. And that good people is why he got dolled up and dropped by. With 60 elephants, llamas galore, with his bears and lions, a brass band and more, with his 40 fakers, his cooks, his bakers, his birds that warble on key. Make way for Prince Ali. Be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, cherie, and we'll provide the arrest. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvre, why we only need to serve. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me, ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance, and they're all business is friends. And hey, dinner here is never second best. Go on, unfold your menu, take a glass, and then you be our guest. We are guests, be our guest. How does she know that you love her? How do you show her you love her? How does she know that you really, really, truly love her? It's not enough to take the one you love for granted. You must remind her or she'll be inclined to say, how do I know he loves me? How do I know he's mine? Well, does he leave it in a note to tell you you are on his mind? Send you the flowers when the sky is gray. Hey, he'll find a new way to show you a little bit every day. That's how you know. That's how you know he's your love. Bless my soul, Herc was on a roll. Person of the week in every Greek opinion poll. What a pro, Herc could stop a show. Pouring him out a monster and you're talking SRO. He was a no one, a zero. Now he's a honcho, he's a hero. He was a kid with his eye down pat. From zero to hero in no time flat. Zero to hero, just like that. Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. This one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the girl and so I help them. Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. They come flocking to my cauldron crying spells, Ursula, please, and I help them. Yes, I do. No one's slick as Gaston, no one's quick as Gaston, no one's neck's as incredibly thick as Gaston, for there's no man in town half as manly, perfect, a pure paragon. You can ask any Tom, Dick, or Stanley, and they'll tell you whose team they prefer to be on. No one's been like Gaston, a kingpin like Gaston. No one's got a swell cleft in his chin like Gaston. As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating. My, what a guy, that Gaston. Safe behind these windows and these parapets of stone, gazing at the people down below me. All my life I watch them as I hide up here alone, hungry for the histories they show me. All my life I memorize their faces, knowing them as they will never know me. All my life I wonder how it feels to pass a day not above them, but part of them. And out there, living in the sun, give me one day out there. All I ask is one to hold forever. Out there where they all live on, where would I give what I dare just to live one day out there. There you see her, sitting there across the way. She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. And you don't know why, but you're dying to try. You wanna kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, my oh my, look like the boy too shy. Ain't gonna kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, ain't that sad, ain't it a shame? Too bad he gonna miss the girl. All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never even knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here and suddenly I see, standing here, it's all so clear where I'm meant to be. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog is lifted, and at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is new, and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you. Now that I see you. I have often dreamed of a far-off place where heroes welcome will be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I will find my way. I could go the distance. I'll be there someday. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. I would go most anywhere to feel like I belong. Way back in days of old, there was a legend told about a hero known as Gallivant. Square jaw and perfect hair, cojones out to there. There was no hero quite like Gallivant. Tough, plus every other manly value. Mess with him, he'll disembowel you. Yay, he ruled in every way, a fairy tale cliche, and people called him Gallivant. Santa Fe, are you there? Do you swear you won't forget me? If I found you, would you let me come and stay? I ain't getting any younger, and before my dying day, I want space, not just air. Let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save a place, I'll be there. So that's what they call a family. Ain't you glad you ain't that way? Ain't you glad you got a dream called Santa Fe? Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least. Both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, where to go, say we're only dreaming, a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew, but now from way up here, it's crystal clear. Now I'm in a whole new world with you. A whole new world. That's where we'll be. A thrilling chase, a wondrous place for you and me. This last song I sing in memory of my parents. Proud of your boy, I'll make you proud of your boy. Believe me, bad as I've been, Ma, you're in for a pleasant surprise. I've wasted time, I've wasted me, so say I'm slow for my age, a late bloomer, okay. I agree that I've been one rotten kid, some sun, some pride, and some joy, but I'll get over these lousing up, messing up, screwing up times. You'll see, Ma, now comes a better part. Someone's gonna make good, cross his stupid heart, make good and finally make you proud of your boy. Tell me that I've been a louse and a loafer, you won't get a fight here, no ma'am. Say I'm a gold brick, a goof off, no good, but that couldn't be all that I am. Water flows under the bridge, let it pass, let it go. There's no good reason that you should believe me, not yet. I know, but someday and soon I'll make you proud of your boy. Though I can't make myself taller or smarter or handsome or wise, I'll do my best. What else can I do? Since I wasn't born perfect like Dad or you. Mom, I will try hard to make you proud of your boy.
It's been a wonderful night filled with the warmth of family, honoring extraordinary individuals who give so much of themselves and showing gratitude for the men and women taking care of those we love. And before we say goodnight, we want to give you a chance to feel even better by stepping up and becoming part of the Calvary family with your thoughtful support. Now, we know many of you have already donated to be a part of tonight's festivities, but some of you in the audience have been guests, and here's a chance to show your thanks to your host and support good works in our community.
Yes, it only takes a minute, but it changes a life. You see on the screen the website for Calvary, and for those who are tech savvy, you can just line up your phone to the screen with the QR code and go to the website to show your support for the important work of Calvary. We've seen this year what it truly means to be a hero, to be on the front lines of healthcare, putting yourself second to helping your patient and your colleagues in times of crisis. So Sade and I want to make yourself feel good by donating what you can to top off the celebration of Calvary in our community. Trust us, it will put you in the best frame of mind this holiday season.
So good night and enjoy the rest of the evening and the tasty treats in your Calvary hospitality boxes.
We wish everyone wonderful holidays and thank you for sharing this memorable and musical night with all of us here at Calvary. Take care, and as always, be well.
Good night.